Hi, welcome back to Alicia K Lifestyle. My name is Alicia and I'm glad you're here. Let's make something pretty. I'm so glad you guys are here today, and I'm really excited for this video because I'm doing something a little different. But before we get into that, I usually tell you guys what I'm wearing, but I'm not wearing anything that I made today, but I'll still tell you. This is a very old black and white stripe off the shoulder, like quarter length sleeve from either Forever 21 or H&M. I got it when I was in college, and that was a long time ago, so I don't remember. But I did get this skirt from the Goodwill. It's a pleated skirt. Has lots of pleats. Lots and lots of beautiful pleats. Every time I wear it, people ask me where I got it from because they love it. And it is a very, very beautiful skirt. And I say I got it from the Goodwill. My mother got it from the Goodwill. She's a Goodwill girl. She knows how to get in there, look through everything, and find all the gems. And I got this maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and it is one of my favorite skirts. Of course, gold jewelry, because yes. It was at this moment when I realized that I unfortunately lost this footage of describing the June monthly sewing project. So I'll add it right here. June is a 7-tier, oversized maxi dress. It is sleeveless, has a high waist slit, and is paired with shorts underneath. If you close the slit in the front, the dress can be worn by itself or paired with another bottom underneath. The shorts can also be styled individually. For this month, I really wanted this project to be comfortable and versatile, especially coming off of a long project like May. For the June monthly sewing project, comfort and versatility were my main focus. And that's exactly what I did. Let's talk about the pattern. So for this month, I used a very simple tutorial that I found online on Instagram, to be exact. And I saved it in my account over a year ago. You know how you just see stuff and you save stuff. Well, I decided to go through for some inspiration. And I said, oh, I'll use this. It's very quick, very easy, very simple. It's less of a pattern and more of a 6 or 7 step-by-step tutorial on what to do. It is found on Veronica Tucker, the Labels Instagram page. Now, she does sell patterns. That is her thing. She makes and sells patterns. But this was just a carousel post of a simple, easy maxi dress to make. And I took that as sort of like my base and created something different with it, which is what I always do. Now, to make the exact dress that I made, there's a bit more math involved than Veronica's tutorial on her Instagram page, simply because she's doing one fabric. She's using just one fabric, and I use 7. So what I did was I divided the length of the dress by the number of fabrics that I used, which was 7. And then I took that number and I added an inch or maybe an inch and a half of seam allowance to each of those 7 fabrics. Another adjustment that I made to the pattern were the straps. The straps are very cute, you know, just time in a bow, so cute. But of course I'm dramatic, so I made them extra super long. Also, I added more width to it. I think the pattern said just take this measurement here across your chest, like from armpit to armpit, and double that, and that's your width. That's not what I did. I quadrupled that. So mine, that's why I said it's oversized. Hers is oversized, but mine is oversized, okay? You'll see. Now let's talk about the fabric. So I used 7 different shades of blue cotton fabric, specifically broadcloth, specifically quilting. I don't know if it's mainly used for quilting, but when I would go into the fabric store, there's a whole quilting section, and that's the fabric that I used. So I'm sure you can use it for much more than quilting, as I did. But if you go in Joann, it's the quilting fabric that I'm talking about. And I chose 7 different patterns, 7 different shades, and I just knew it would come out really, really beautiful. Now, the thing with using this broadcloth type of fabric, there are different price ranges because there are different levels of quality. I think I did maybe like a mid-range of quality, but if you're going to make this and you're going to use broadcloth, I would highly suggest really paying attention and using your greatest sewing skills. I would highly recommend using your greatest sewing skills, because if you use like a mid-range quality fabric or maybe a lower quality fabric, then after you wear it a couple of times and you wash it, then it will start to come loose, because it's just not that great of a fabric. You know, it's not meant to be washed 100 times. Now, I always hand wash everything that I make, and I either tumble dry it or hang dry it. That's just my preference. You ain't gotta do all that. That's just what I do. But yeah. Also, I make sure to do a zigzag stitch on every single seam. Every seam that I did. Why? Because I don't want the fabric to come apart in the dryer or any other situation. This is not the highest quality of fabric, and if you go by what the store says the fabric is meant for, then you're misusing it. So if you want it to last for a long time and you're going to use the broadcloth, then I would highly suggest, you know, using your best needles, using your best thread, using your best skills. You know, make sure that tension is right. And you can overlock it or do a zigzag. I don't have an overlocker or a serger, but I did, like I said, use the zigzag stitch. And I've washed this now twice. It's November. I've washed this twice, and I've worn it several times. So now let's talk about the process of making this dress. Honestly, I was completely uninspired while making this dress. You know, when you're working on something and you know, you do step 1, step 2, step 8, step 12, and you can see the vision coming to life. That didn't happen with this, because it's so oversized. It has no shape. It was just kind of like, okay. I mean, I'm like, okay. And it wasn't until I started to add the straps where I saw it coming together, where I was like, okay, this is my vision. This is what I want. Like, it's coming together. Y'all, I was a little bored. I was a little bored. I mean, because it's so easy to make. Even with the adjustments that I did, taking it from 1 fabric to 7, I was still a little, you know, just straight stitches and clean it up on the inside. That was pretty much it. It didn't get exciting until I got to the straps. Not even the pockets excited me, but yeah. To make the shorts, I use the same pattern that I always use for shorts, for any kind of pants. It's the same pattern, my own pattern that fits my body like a glove. Now, I say making this dress was incredibly easy, because it was, but the hardest part of making this dress, which is completely optional, has nothing to do with the actual dress, it has to do with me, was putting in order those 7 fabrics, deciding what fabrics I wanted to use as the straps. It was a whole thing for me. It really was. It took me like an hour and a half. I'm not kidding. It took me an hour and a half to put these fabrics in order. That's just how I am, guys. That's just how my mind works. It's gonna be the same dress forever. They have to be in an order that I will like today and that I will like 20 years from now. And then also what fabric I was going to use for the shorts. What fabric was I going to use for the shorts? You know, it was a whole thing. So I decided on the bumblebee fabric for the shorts. And this, I had to decide this in the store, okay? Because I had to get more fabric for the shorts. So I used the bumblebee fabric for the shorts, and I made sure that the bumblebee fabric was somewhere near the shorts on the dress part. You'll understand it when you see it. I was able to get a good amount of footage with this sewing project. So I'm going to insert it here now. see, this was a very, very, very simple dress to make, even with the alterations that I made. So I would highly recommend it for beginners. Absolutely, 100%. And it's really, really easy to make alterations to just a really big dress like this. Now, if I were to do it again, I would lift the armholes a little bit because they are deep. They are deep. And like I said before, I've worn this dress several times, but I had to be mindful of bending over and bending to the side to side and lifting my arms up because the armhole was so deep. Because any sudden movement without caution, you were going to be able to see everything that the Lord gave me. And that's not what I want to do. But overall, very easy. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Again, that is on Veronica Tucker, the Labels Instagram. She does sell patterns, but it is not a pattern that you can purchase. You have to go through her feed and just find the big maxi dress 6 or 7 step tutorial. Now, without further ado, I present to you all the monthly sewing project June, Blue in the Wind. Now let's get into what I learned during the process of making this dress. Number 1, a complicated make does not equal a long time, and a simple make does not equal a short time. For example, complicated to me would be when I did my March monthly sewing project, because that was my first time working with broadcloth. It was a simple pattern, but the fabric made it more complicated. The placement of the fabric, because it was burnt out fabric, okay, and it showed some places, so I had to be strategic with that. That made it complicated. The pleating sort of made it complicated, and the finishing on the inside with that type of fabric made it complicated. So even though to me it was on the complicated side, it didn't take that long. It really didn't. But for this June, it was very simple, very easy. But because of how much fabric I used in this project, it took much longer than my March. Also, March was very short, and this one was very long. Number 2, a little bit each day is much better than all at once. You guys, I'm doing great with my time management when it comes to my monthly sewing projects. If you don't know, I do have a 9-to-5. This is not my job. I have a job, and so I only dedicate 2 hours every day to this, but it has helped me out so much because I used to do it all in one day or 2 or 3 days. I used to try to get it done in a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That was an unintelligent decision, but now I'm making better decisions. Number 3, even though I'm dragging to the machine sometimes, I really do love sewing. June was a busy month. It really was. But thanks to my time management, I was able to work on it every day. But I didn't always feel like it. Like, I just the thought of, man, I have to go ahead and wake up early because I gotta sew. Or when I get off work, you know, I can't go straight and do this or that because I gotta sew. I have to make time to sew. And I would literally be dragging to the machine sometimes. But as soon as I sat down and I got into my groove, I had a great time. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's a word for that. But when I got into it, I was having the time of my life. I really was. And number 4, can you guess? I need a new sewing machine, guys, okay? So it's time to stop talking about it and be about it. Let me know what sewing machine you use, and if you are a beginner sewist, an intermediate sewist, or an expert sewist, okay? Because there's one that I'm looking at right now, but the price tag, honey, the price tag. So I'm open to other options. So please let me know that down in the comments. That would help your girl out a lot. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Thank you for spending a little time with me. I hope you enjoyed the raw footage of making the June monthly sewing project. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, because I'm about to eat dinner and enjoy the rest of mine. I love you guys. Bye.